When Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson must travel cross-country to regain his stolen shield, they're about to discover that they're not the only members of the great Captain America legacy. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of the United States of Captain America issue number 1 and find out together, shall we? So then, as this newest miniseries from Christopher Cantwell starts, Steve Rogers is waxing poetically about a very familiar topic, the dream. I say familiar because the topic of the American dream was tackled quite a lot during that last Ta-Nehisi Coates run, which was actually supposed to already be done by the time this new mini started, but they pushed the final issue back to July. Steve talks about how he's always been loyal to the dream, more so than any leader, any team, any costume. But of course, the obvious problem with a dream is that it's just that, fleeting, not real. And because there pretty much has always been two very different, very separate Americas, one for the haves and one for the have-nots, it only makes sense that as far as Steve is concerned, there's been two very separate and very different American dreams too. There's the whole white picket fence, suburban family dream. The dream that many people feel entitled to and then disappointed when they don't actually achieve. In fact, the Germans of all people have a word for that feeling of disappointment. Then of course there's the second dream, the dream of opportunity, the dream that people from all over the world flock to America for, knowing that if they work hard enough, that their lives, or at the very least the lives of their children, will be demonstrously better than the lives they themselves lived. Of course, there is often the times wherein that white picket fence ends up becoming a wrought iron gate. Captain America also talks about his own place in the world right now as a symbol. He wonders that if in 2021 he's not doing more damage than good, dividing people instead of bringing them together. After all, his words are oh so often misconstrued, his image easily hidden behind. And that's when his image isn't being sold and commodified. Heck, Steve has been called a traitor and a criminal by his own nation more times than he can actively count at this point. But all the same, he perseveres and fights on against all evil and against all adversaries, like the mysterious individual that broke into his house trying to steal his trademark shield. This guy doesn't appear to be any old-fashioned thief either. They're fast, strong, well-trained, and dressed in the classic Captain America suit. Steve understands just how serious this situation is right now, and once his shield gets pilfered, he decides to call in some aerial assistance from Sam Wilson the Falcon, a former Captain America in his own right. Turns out not only is this guy fast, he's super fast with some sort of amazing power, and when Captain America, rocking his Agent Steve Rogers costume, once again manages to get close to this guy, he opts to attack a train, meaning that Falcon and Captain America have to break off to save the people inside. This rescue ends up becoming even more complicated when they realize they're not the first heroes on the scene. There is a young Captain America lookalike there already trying to help people out. At first, Steve jumps to the conclusion that this kid must be working with the evil doppelganger who stole his shield, but as we find out here and in the backup story, this kid, whose name is eventually revealed to be Aaron, is actually one of the good guys. As Aaron tells it, he's a young runaway who was kicked out of the house for being queer. Inspired by Captain America, he decided to put on a costume and create his own shield to defend all of his transient friends. Heck, he even broke a bunch of homeless kids out of an internment camp run by the Roxxon Corporation. Steve and Sam are really happy to have some extra help dealing with the people involved in this train derailment, and eventually they end up warming up to this Aaron kid pretty quickly. Turns out Rail Rider, as he calls himself, is actually part of a whole underground network of crime fighters and vigilantes inspired by Captain America. Steve has never heard of them until right now. But it's more than clear that whatever they're about, this underground network of Captain Americas is probably in some way tied to this doppelganger, and things only get stranger when a mysterious female assassin takes a shot at Rail Rider from afar. Captain America and Steve are forced to regroup, and Rail Rider has to get on to his next destination. Again, he wouldn't be Rail Rider if he doesn't ride the rails. Steve and Sam vow to join forces to track down the missing shield wherever it might be. After all, two Captain Americas are better than one, and Sam even has a spare shield sticking around for Steve to use. And it's on that note right there the main story comes to a close. And so that was the United States of Captain America issue number 1, everybody. And overall, I thought it was pretty okay. Not mind-blowing or anything, but pretty okay. My biggest complaint probably has nothing to do with Christopher Cantwell's actual writing ability, but just with how Marvel has seemingly chosen to portray Captain America in the last little bit, mainly that he keeps asking the same questions over and over again for the last several runs. Do I have a place in modern society? Should I be doing more? Etc., etc. Don't get me wrong, these are all very valid, topical, interesting questions. The only problem is that Steve only ever seems to ask these questions and never actually do anything about the problem, which as a reader gets annoying. I certainly dig the whole underground network of crime fighters inspired by Captain America. It makes a lot of sense. America isn't a monolith after all, so why shouldn't every people in every community have their own representative Captain America fighting on their behalf? It's good stuff. And as Spider-Verse and Batman Inc. have shown us, it's really good to have multiple different versions of the same AAA hero from a marketing standpoint. You never know which character is going to be good enough to headline their own spin-off. Ultimately, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10, even if the main hook and concept of this story feels like it's been done so many other times in Captain America. I'm still interested enough to see where it goes, especially because I want to learn more about all these different Captain America-inspired heroes we're going to be running into. A lot of them look super cool. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.